I've never organised a protest rally before, so to have them back down before it was due to take place was amazing. I'll have to organise them more often. Joking aside, the ruling group within the council only reversed their decision after pressure from individuals and groups from across our council area. Groups like the Bells Hill Sharks and the WKC Karate Club in Hollytown. And from over 21,000 signatures on numerous petitions online and in person, and from people contacting their councillors, MSPs and MPs directly. A total of 39 locations which form the heart of our communities were to be ripped out, ranging from larger facilities which serve the towns and surrounding areas, such as the Aquatech Motherwell and the John Smith Pool in Airdrie, to community libraries and to smaller community centres in our villages. No part of North Lanarkshire was to be untouched. From Kilsyth in the north to Motherwell in the south, from Steps in the west to Shorts in the east, the facilities available to 340,000 residents were voted out of existence by just 13 councillors, with just one vote tipping the balance in favour of the destruction of facilities which they had been entrusted to protect. This issue unites people across North Lanarkshire in a way previously unseen. It didn't matter who you voted for in the last election, whether you were Labour or SNP, Tory or Green or otherwise. Every single one of us would be affected, and there was no positive take for this from anyone. Who cares if you can turn around and try to put the blame for this in the opposition, or in Holyrood or in Westminster? It doesn't matter. What good does it do? How does that help your community? Our politicians, especially the ones who made this horrendous decision, were more than happy to play petty politics with our communities. Well, we, the people of North Lanarkshire, are here to tell you that enough is enough. You can no longer rip apart our communities, demolish our history and destroy our future and claim that a big boy done it and ran away. That's why those responsible today are sneaking in shamefully through the back door, and while we are standing here with our heads held high, because we stood up for our communities and they didn't. Even after their decision, they behaved in a manner which suggested they were immune to criticism. Politicians like to tell us that we are listening, when in reality they're putting their fingers in their ears and hoping the little people go away. North Lanarkshire Council blocked replies on social media. The councillors refused to respond to residents' questions, and comments on Facebook community groups were deleted if they tried to question the decision made by the committee or promote events such as this one. Well, they're listening now, and they will still be listening when the next by-election is held and when the next council election takes place in 2027. I'm not going to tell you who you vote for, but I'm going to ask that whatever happens you do two things. One, get out and vote. In the 2022 council elections, turnout across North Lanarkshire was appallingly low. In some wards as low as 37%. In the recent Bells Hill by-election, the turnout was just 22%. That's pitiful. And for anyone that thinks it's just the council elections and they don't matter, it's days like this that drive home that they do matter and how important your councils actually are. Number two, demand better from the people that we elect. Pay attention to their promises and manifestos, that's one thing. But as communities, we not only need to scrutinise what they're offering, but we need to make our demands to them clear. We will not elect them to rip apart our communities. No, we elect them to protect them, and it should be made clear to them, amongst all the things their party wants, they must also include guarantees for the things that we want. We need to draw our red lines. Now that we have your attention, hands off our community facilities. We're watching, and what you tried to get away with today, you will not get away with tomorrow. We will not accept closures by the back door. We will will not allow you to pick us off one by one, reducing opening hours, cutting jobs, cutting facilities. That behaviour stops today. North Lanarkshire Council for years have reduced opening hours to the extent that our own community facilities have become unusable. Then the Commission reports would say there's low footfall, and that's the reason for them closing. They created that low footfall in the first place. Death by 1,000 cuts stops now, and if you can find the £5 million overnight to reverse these cuts, you can start to look a wee bit harder and do better in future. I'd like to thank you all again for attending. The full council meeting starts at 4 p.m. should anyone wish to attend it. Please be aware that there are police present, so be on your best behaviour. And finally, do we have any speakers that wish to speak before you go in?
Hi, I'm one of the councillors that opposed the cuts. I wasn't at the vote, but I was quite disgusted with the lack of interest shown by the councillors that voted to make these cuts. And can I just be absolutely clear? The cuts haven't been stopped, the decision's not been reversed. And if you'll excuse me for bringing politics in, those of us who aren't in the Labour Party feel that has been publicised both locally and nationally to support, because the Labour saw their polls, their vote falling for the upcoming by-election. So that's a bit of politics. You can disagree with that if you like. The other thing is, at the last public meeting with the Policy and Strategy Committee, there were only 2 policemen there. I see there must be some troublemakers in the crowd, because I noticed they sent 3 to look after you guys. So just be careful you don't get thrown over the balcony, okay? Well, listen, I suppose the point I was really making was you can't stop your protests. And from previous incidents where the council's made bad decisions have been very unpopular with communities, unfortunately, I think the most effective way of getting your message across is to be quite specific and clear that you're not going to vote for any councillor who supports these closures. Their names have all been released. Whatever happens in the future, there will be other chances to vote with it. Get your emails, get your community groups, go to councillor surgeries and say, you vote for that and my group will not be voting for you at the next election. And unfortunately that might be the most effective way of dealing with this. Thanks for listening.